Nasa buena babadi si baba henhane henhana. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss something that is near and dear to my heart. Anybody that knows me knows that I am a Disney movie person. I pretty much grew up on Disney musicals. So we're going to go ahead and discuss one of the newest additions to the Disney family, the new Lion King. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. Was it good? Was it not good? Does it compete with the original? Let's talk about it because there's a bit to break down in here. All right, y'all. So before we do get started, I do want to go ahead and start off by saying, if you haven't seen the movie already, I'll give you time to go ahead and enter that. If you're not gone by now, then just stay. It's fine. Whatever. You need to know whether or not you need to see the movie anyway. So, let's start off by just going over a few things. My outfit itself was inspired by the African theme. I have my hair in little pigtails. Actually, I'm banding it because I need it to stretch out. You know how that goes. I do have these African-inspired beads around my neck because I'm true to the cause. And also, I don't know, this shirt kind of feels African-y. No? You don't think so? I tried. But anyways, if we get down to the movies, what we start with is the excitement, the thrill of knowing that one of your favorite, Lion King is a classic. So you know they have to do it right, right? 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 They need to do it right. That's what you're thinking going into this movie. Now, it starts off great. You have the opening scene. From the day we arrived on the planet. And it's pretty much verbatim, or whatever that is, picture. It looks exactly like the opening scene of the original one with cartoon characters, except this time they actually use the real life version of the animals, but they're doing the same thing. It's like, okay, so this is off to a grand start. This is looking beautiful. Some animals seem smaller than what they did in the cartoon. But honestly, if you're going to try and do this thing as if it is true to size, National Geographic-ish and whatnot, then I guess you have no choice but to make all the animals to scale, I suppose. Then you get to Pride Rock and you're like, this is the part. This is one of the most famous scenes where Rafiki holds up Simba. And then he gets up there and you're kind of like, that's Rafiki. I kind of remember Rafiki being just a little bigger than that. And this he was a little smaller, which made me feel like, oh damn, I always thought baboons were the same size as the lions. You know, the opening scene, it started out really good. And me, if you're anything like me, then you know all the words to Lion King. Like, I'm not talking about the songs only. I'm talking about, like, the script. You know the words verbatim by heart. So you're expecting it to be just like that. But I had a feeling from the trailer that it wasn't going to be verbatim. So I already fixed my heart and my mind to knowing that I wasn't going to be able to say the words verbatim. Quite frankly, if they could just take the audio from the original and then just put it on this new one, I think I would have been better with it.
Hakuna Matata. It means no worries.
Moving on. Let's start with the characters themselves. We have Beyonce playing Nala. She has a good voice. Like, honestly, not just singing voice, but just like talking in general. You kind of just feel like you're at home, but you're also like in the hood at the same time. And then you have Childish Gambino. As he's talking as Simba, I could just hear him dancing. you know, doing his crazy dances and stuff like that. I can see what he's doing. You know what I mean? And then you got young Simba. I know his last name's McCreary. I can't think of his first name. He killed the songs. Like, I'm telling you, them runs. Like, he knows how to sing. Okay, he knows how to sing. And I think that this McCreary dude did a great job as young Simba. But in this depiction, in terms of singing, I really liked his singing voice. I mean, his talking was all right. You guys, I don't know what it was. It's not the actors themselves. What I really think it was is that this movie just didn't hit me emotionally because the animals don't have emotions. Let's break this down real quick. Like, take a dog, for example. You know a dog is crying because the dog is making a little sound. But when you look at the dog's face, it looks exactly like how the dog would look if it wasn't crying. It doesn't have the muscles to make that emotional expression. If you want a movie about animals to be realistic, then you have to pretty much take into consideration that they're not going to have the emotional expressions on their face that is going to depict what is going on in the movie. So, spoiler alert, as if you guys didn't know this, Mufasa dies. Yeah. Right? When Mufasa's about to die, I'm sitting here like, I know this is gonna hit me because it has hit me. Like, the original, I cannot watch the original without like, Mufasa! This one was a bit different. First of all, there's that whole emotional thing, and then Simba's like, no! And you could see it. You could see, like, my dad just died. Like, I felt like my dad died in that moment. Like, Mufasa was my dad. In this movie, like, he gets down, and instead of that, Scar, brother, help me, that Mufasa is known for doing, he says, Scar, help. With that, Scar, brother, help me, that made a difference from just, Scar, help. Because, I mean, I can ask some random stranger on the street to help me. I can ask some random stranger. But Scar, brother, like, that depicts a role. If I'm in trouble and my brother is there, he's obligated to help me. He has to help me because he's my brother. Like, that's his role, that's his duty, that's his job. So it didn't have that emotional connection that you really needed to really feel what level of portrayal this was in. And then on top of that, instead of just like Scar's supposed to do, Scar,
Long live the king.
Help me! Long live the king!
Scar literally bitch slaps Mufasa. Bitch slaps him. I'm not making that up. The Mufasa that I knew growing up, that little bitch slap wouldn't have killed Mufasa. You can't convince me that slap killed Mufasa. Okay, sure. Mufasa dies. You know the story. Simba runs down there. Oh my God, Dad. You know, with his little crybaby voice, but it's a crybaby voice, but this lion doesn't have a facial expression. You know, like in the original, it's like, Dad, get up. We gotta go home.
Dad? Dad, come on. You gotta get up.
You know, you felt it. You're like, Simba, he ain't getting up, baby. Baby, he ain't getting up. But in this one, it was like, oh, Dad, oh. Y'all, look at my face. Oh, Dad, please, get up, Dad. Oh.
Save me. He tries to save me.
And then you're just kind of like, his whimper voice is annoying because he not really sad. Like, I don't see it on his face. It's just like, you don't feel it. You don't feel it the same. And that made a difference in this movie, I'm telling you. None of the animals had emotion. That scene in the woods where Timon and Pumbaa are singing, it's just like, in the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion. You know how like animals look when they mouth wide open and they screaming? It looked like that.
Sleeves too. I can't hear you, buddy. Back me up. A wee, a boom, a bum away. Sleep the night.
Let's get on Scar. This guy didn't look like he had any power throughout the entire movie. The Scar from the original, he was the leader of like the hyenas. All the hyenas were on the same level and they had to be prepared. Thank you. I know you like my singing. He was going to be king and they saw him as king already, so why not be prepared? But in this movie, it kind of felt like Scar was just like the outcast, the outsider, the guy that was coming in kind of just like, hey, guess what? I did this for you, but like I got a proposition for you. Just support me. I'll be king. And then, you know, you can do this, which technically is the same, but they had Shinzi as the leader of the hyenas. But I just didn't like her depiction in the movie. I couldn't connect with these characters at all without emotions on their face. Like, it matters. It's amazing how much that shit matters. It really does matter. So Shinzi was the leader of the hyenas, and in the beginning of the movie, it was kind of like, they were like, what are you doing here, Scar? Like, fuck you. Whereas in the first one, they were like, oh, it's just you, Scar. We're comfortable with you, but at the end of the day, you're scary because you're a lion, and we respect that. We respect you. But they kind of chumped him off in this one, and so I didn't like that they didn't already have that alliance that's supposed to be established like it was in the original. Mufasa. Love Mufasa, but you know, James Earl Jones, he was like 60-something when he played the original Mufasa. His voice had vibrance, it had power, it had strength, like it instilled fear, and you actually understood it. It had like a volume to it. And I mean, in this movie, like he still sounded the same. The words were different. He kind of sounded like British to me. Is he British? Either way, his voice isn't as strong, it isn't as powerful, it isn't as voluminous. It's kind of just like, you know, it's there, but it's like, the older you get, the less power I feel like you have in your voice. So as he's playing Mufasa, even though it was the exact same person who played the original Mufasa, it did seem as if it was kind of a different person because the words were different, he sounded a little different, and then there was no emotional connection within it. Like, I was looking for that, and it was worse. You put Nala in danger. Like, I'm talking like, I felt that. I was like, please don't be disappointed in Simba in the original one, whereas like he said, and you put Nala in danger, you know? And I was kind of just like, yeah, I guess you did put Nala in danger. Like, there's a big difference in the emotional connection. I cannot emphasize this enough. Like, I've seen this meme going around saying, okay, Disney, don't cast Beyonce and anything else. But quite frankly, I think Beyonce did a good job. Childish did a good job. Florence did a good job. You know, McCrary did a good job. These people did great jobs playing the characters. I just feel like the reason why they're blaming the actresses and the actors the most is because there was no emotional connection, because we're looking at National Geographic Channel. There's no emotion in these animals' faces, and that makes a big difference. Like, literally, that's my like biggest beef. But, you know, overall, I feel like the movie was good. Like, I understand that they were trying to do twists for this movie. They were trying to get the twists in there, but it kind of just made me feel like you slapped me in the face. You disrespected me. Like, there was parts of the movie where you couldn't even, like, if you didn't see the original, then you wouldn't even have known how some of the stuff happened. I just felt like they just cut out important parts, important scenes that, like, we really wouldn't know why certain things happened if we didn't see the original. And so for that reason, I am truly and utterly grateful for the original. It is still better and the best version of The Lion King that I've ever seen. The original is like a classic. The words are classic. The singing is a classic. You could see their emotions. You cry when Mufasa dies. Like, this is stuff that you actually connect to. I appreciate it. I didn't appreciate the scene with Mufasa in the clouds. You couldn't even see him. You know, in the cartoon, they could actually... But again, with the realism, they had to just make it clouds with lightning in it.
Okay.
I didn't connect with it, you guys. I didn't connect with it. Now, don't get me wrong. It's still the original plot. So with that being said, it's a good movie because of the plot itself. The only disappointment that I do have in the movie really just comes with the fact that I couldn't emotionally connect with it. The dynamic was different as a whole. But it is a good movie. I want to emphasize that. I still believe that people should support it. It's a good movie. It was just different. It was just different. That's the best way to just describe it. It was just different. I don't want to say that it was ruined. I just feel like in the future, if you're going to take a movie that is primarily about animals and try to make it realistic or live action, don't. Because you take the magic out of it. In conclusion, you know, the movie was a very good movie. It just had very disappointing moments. The original being a 10 out of 10, I would say that this movie was a strong 6 out of 10. But yep, that is my review of a Disney classic turned kind of a fail. But it's new, whatever. I'm not saying don't support it, please do. But I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on what to expect when watching this movie, because I went in there with extremely high expectations, and honestly, when you go in there with high expectations, a lot of the times you get let down. So just so you know, if you go off of my review, then maybe you might be pleasantly surprised, and that's extremely okay as well. I still enjoyed the movie, guys. Don't get me wrong. It just wasn't my classic Lion King, and that's what I came to see. And unfortunately, that's not exactly what I got, but I got pretty close to it, and that's all that matters. So please, if you did like this video, like, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell so you know exactly when I upload new videos and new reviews, so that you can get a heads up on what to expect with certain movies, and just honestly my opinion and my view on what's going on. So, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.